The day started like any other on Earth. People went about their daily lives, unaware of the danger lurking in the dark corners of space. Little did they know, their world was about to change forever. High above the planet, hidden behind the moon, a massive alien fleet appeared out of nowhere. Their ships were unlike anything humans had ever seen. They were huge, sleek, and seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. The aliens had come from a distant galaxy, drawn by the radio signals Earth had been sending out for decades. The alien leaders looked down at the blue planet with cold, calculating eyes. They saw Earth as a primitive world, ripe for the taking. Their scans showed a planet rich in resources, but defended by what they considered outdated technology. In their arrogance, they believed conquering Earth would be easy. Without warning, the alien fleet launched their attack. Hundreds of ships descended upon Earth's major cities. New York, London, Tokyo, and many others found themselves under fire in a matter of minutes. The sky turned red with the glow of alien weapons, and the air filled with the sound of explosions and screams. Governments around the world were caught off guard. Military bases scrambled to respond, but their jets and missiles were no match for the advanced alien technology. In Washington, D.C., the president was rushed to a secret bunker. In Beijing, the leadership struggled to understand what was happening. In Moscow, generals watched helplessly as their defenses crumbled. But even in the face of this overwhelming assault, humanity's spirit remained unbroken. In New York, a group of firefighters rushed into burning buildings, saving countless lives. In London, ordinary citizens helped the injured, showing remarkable courage. In Tokyo, a young tech genius began working on hacking the alien communications. As the first day of the attack wore on, the true nature of humanity began to shine through the chaos. People from all walks of life came together to help each other. Race, religion, and nationality no longer mattered. They were all Earth's children, united against a common enemy. In a small town in the middle of America, a retired colonel gathered a group of veterans. They began planning guerrilla tactics, determined to fight back however they could. In a university in India, a team of scientists worked around the clock, trying to understand the alien technology from the little data they had. The aliens, confident in their superior technology, expected Earth to surrender quickly. But as the hours passed, they began to realize that this primitive species was far more resilient than they had anticipated. Reports came in of human fighters downing alien craft through sheer determination and clever tactics. The alien leaders were puzzled. This was not going according to their plans. As the first day of the attack came to an end, Earth was battered but not beaten. Smoke rose from the ruins of once great cities, but amidst the rubble, the human spirit burned brighter than ever. People huddled in shelters, homes, and makeshift camps, sharing what little they had and comforting each other. In the darkness of that first night, as the alien ships loomed overhead, a spark of hope began to grow. Humanity had been knocked down, but they were far from out. The unprovoked attack had awakened a fierce determination in the human race. They would not go quietly. They would not surrender. As governments began to regroup and form a united front, as scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to find a way to fight back, as ordinary people showed extraordinary courage, one thing became clear: the aliens had made a grave mistake. They had underestimated humanity's greatest strength, their unwavering spirit and their ability to unite in the face of adversity. The battle for Earth had only just begun, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of. As the dust settled from the first day of the alien attack, the world woke to a new reality. The initial shock had worn off, replaced by a grim determination. Across the globe, people began to realize that old rivalries and conflicts no longer mattered. There was only one enemy now, and it came from the stars. In an emergency session of the United Nations, world leaders gathered virtually to address the crisis. The usual political bickering was noticeably absent, Instead, there was a sense of urgency and unity that had never been seen before. The Secretary General's message was clear: we stand together, or we fall alone. China and the United States, once fierce rivals, now worked hand in hand. Russian scientists shared their research freely with their American counterparts. European nations pooled their resources, creating a unified defense force. In the Middle East, centuries-old conflicts were set aside as countries joined forces to protect their shared lands. But it wasn't just governments that were uniting. Ordinary people from all walks of life were coming together in extraordinary ways. Social media platforms, once filled with trivial arguments, now buzzed with information sharing and coordination efforts. Hackers from around the world formed a loose network, working tirelessly to crack alien communications. In Silicon Valley, tech giants opened their doors to government agencies, offering their vast computing power and AI capabilities. Car manufacturers retooled their factories to produce makeshift weapons and armored vehicles. Pharmaceutical companies shared their research, hoping to find weaknesses in alien biology. Universities became hubs of frantic activity. In laboratories around the world, scientists worked around the clock, analyzing every scrap of data from the alien technology. At MIT, a young prodigy made a breakthrough in understanding the aliens' energy weapons. In Tokyo, a team of engineers reverse-engineered parts of a downed alien craft. Military leaders from different nations gathered in a secret bunker, sharing strategies and planning a unified defense. They realized that traditional warfare was useless against the alien threat. Instead, they began developing new tactics, combining guerrilla warfare with the latest technology. But it wasn't all about fighting back. Humanity's compassion shone through the darkness. Refugee camps sprung up to house those displaced by the attacks. Volunteers from all over the world poured in to help. In these camps, people of different races, religions, and nationalities worked side by side, bound by a common purpose. The aliens, watching from above, were puzzled by this turn of events. They had expected Earth to descend into chaos, making it easier to conquer. Instead, they saw a planet coming together like never before. Their leaders began to worry. This unity was not part of their calculations. As the first week of the invasion came to an end, Earth had transformed. Gone were the petty squabbles and divisions of the past. In their place was a sense of global community, a shared identity as Earthlings. People no longer identified primarily by their nationality, but as citizens of Earth. This new unity brought hope, but also highlighted the enormous challenges ahead. The aliens still held technological superiority. Their ships still dominated the skies. But now, they faced a united Earth, pooling its vast resources and diverse talents. In labs and war rooms, on streets and in refugee camps, a single phrase began to circulate. It started as a whisper, but grew into a rallying cry. Earth united, Earth strong. This simple phrase captured the spirit of this new unified humanity. As the sun set on the seventh day since the invasion began, the people of Earth looked to the star-filled sky with a mix of fear and determination. The aliens had wanted an easy conquest. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. Humanity was united as never before, ready to fight for their home, their planet, their Earth. The battle was far from over, but one thing was clear. If the aliens wanted Earth, they would have to face the combined might of every nation, every people, every individual on the planet. And humanity was ready to show the galaxy what they could do when they stood together. As the alien invasion entered its third week, the united forces of Earth began to reveal their true potential. The initial panic had subsided, replaced by a steely resolve. Humanity, it seemed, had a few tricks up its sleeve. In the dense jungles of the Amazon, a group of indigenous warriors teamed up with special forces from around the world. They used their deep knowledge of the rainforest to set up elaborate traps for alien ground forces. The aliens, used to relying on advanced technology, found themselves outmaneuvered in the thick undergrowth. Their ships, so effective in open areas, were nearly useless in the canopy-covered jungle. Meanwhile, in the vast deserts of the Sahara, Bedouin tribes worked with military strategists to turn the harsh landscape into a weapon. They used the intense heat and sandstorms to their advantage, disabling alien sensors and luring enemy craft into deadly ambushes. The aliens, unfamiliar with desert warfare, suffered heavy losses. Beneath the waves of the Pacific Ocean, a joint task force of navies from around the world made a startling discovery. The alien ships, while formidable in the air, were vulnerable to attack from below the water surface. Submarines, once thought obsolete in this new war, became Earth's secret weapon. They struck silently and deadly, sinking alien vessels before they could react. In the cities, urban warfare took on a new dimension. Parker experts teamed up with resistance fighters, using their incredible agility to outmaneuver the alien foot soldiers in the concrete jungle. They leaped from rooftop to rooftop, setting up ambushes and disappearing before the aliens could respond. The invaders, used to fighting on open battlefields, found themselves constantly on edge in the narrow streets and alleyways. High in the Rocky Mountains, a team of elite climbers and mountaineers turned the rugged terrain into an impenetrable fortress. They used their knowledge of the mountains to set up bases in locations the aliens couldn't reach. From these high vantage points, they launched surprise attacks, then vanished back into the mist-covered peaks. But it wasn't just physical prowess that gave humanity an edge. In universities and tech hubs around the world, human ingenuity was in full swing. A group of hackers in Seoul managed to crack the alien communication codes, giving Earth forces valuable intelligence. In Bangalore, a team of engineers developed a way to jam the aliens' targeting systems using Earth's own satellite network. Perhaps most surprisingly, it was the world's artists and creatives who provided an unexpected advantage. Musicians discovered that certain sound frequencies disrupted alien tech. Street artists used their skills to create camouflage so effective it rendered entire city blocks invisible to alien scans. Writers and storytellers boosted morale, their tales of human triumph spreading hope like wildfire. The aliens, who had expected an easy conquest, found themselves increasingly frustrated. Every time they thought they had the upper hand, humans would adapt and find a new way to fight back. The invaders' leaders couldn't understand how a species they had deemed primitive was giving them so much trouble. What the aliens failed to grasp was the incredible diversity of human experience and skills. Each ecosystem, each culture, each individual human had something unique to offer in the fight. The very things that had once divided humanity, different languages, cultures, and ways of life, now became their greatest strength. As the third week of the invasion came to a close, there was a palpable shift in the air. The aliens no longer attacked with impunity. Instead, they moved cautiously, wary of human traps and ambushes. For the first time since the invasion began, the aliens were on the defensive. In hidden bunkers and secret war rooms, military leaders allowed themselves a moment of hope. They were still outgunned and outmatched technologically, but they had found their footing. Humanity's hidden strength, its adaptability, its diversity, its sheer stubborn will to survive, was beginning to turn the tide. As news of successful counterattacks spread around the world, a new feeling began to take hold. It wasn't just about survival anymore. Now there was a growing belief that they could win this war. The aliens had awakened a sleeping giant, and now they were about to feel its full might. The battle for Earth was far from over, but one thing was clear. Humanity would not go down without a fight. And what a fight it would be. As the war raged on, a secret project was underway in a hidden facility deep beneath the Antarctic ice. Here, the brightest minds from around the world worked tirelessly on what they hoped would be humanity's trump card against the alien invaders. Dr. Amelia Chen, a brilliant physicist from Singapore, led the team. She had made a groundbreaking discovery just days before the invasion, a way to harness and manipulate Earth's magnetic field. Now, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance, She and her team raced to turn this discovery into a weapon. The facility was a hive of activity. In one lab, engineers worked on massive coils designed to amplify the planet's magnetic field. In another, computer experts developed algorithms to control and direct the magnetic waves with pinpoint accuracy. Every person there knew that their work could mean the difference between victory and defeat. But the project wasn't without its challenges. Early tests had fried every piece of electronic equipment within a mile radius. The power requirements were enormous, threatening to drain entire power grids, and there was always the risk that the aliens might discover their location. As weeks turned into months, progress was slow but steady. The team faced setback after setback, but each failure brought new insights. They worked around the clock, fueled by determination and copious amounts of coffee. Then, on a cold Antarctic night, a breakthrough came. Dr. Chen and her team successfully generated a controlled magnetic pulse that disabled a small drone without affecting any other electronics. The room erupted in cheers. For the first time, they had proof that their concept could work. News of the breakthrough was sent to military leaders around the world. Hope spread like wildfire, but they knew they couldn't celebrate yet. They still needed to scale up the technology to be effective against the alien ships. As the team worked to increase the power and range of their magnetic weapon, they made another startling discovery. The alien technology seemed particularly vulnerable to these magnetic pulses. It was as if their advanced systems had never been designed to withstand such an attack. Theories abounded. Perhaps the aliens came from a planet with a weak magnetic field. Maybe their technology had evolved along a completely different path than Earth's. Whatever the reason, it gave humanity a much-needed advantage. The next phase was to test the weapon on a larger scale. A plan was put into motion. They would lure a small group of alien ships to a remote area and hit them with everything they had. The day of the test arrived. Everyone in the facility held their breath as they watched the monitors. 3 alien ships approached the target area, unaware of what awaited them. Dr. Chen gave the signal, and the magnetic pulse was released. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The alien ship's engines sputtered and died. They fell from the sky like stones, crashing into the empty desert below. The weapon had worked beyond their wildest dreams. Cheers and tears of joy filled the facility. They had done it. Earth now had a weapon that could turn the tide of the war. But their celebration was short-lived. They knew the real work was just beginning. The next step was to create a network of these magnetic pulse generators around the world. It would be a massive undertaking, requiring unprecedented global cooperation. But for the first time since the invasion began, it felt like a task that was within their reach. As news of the successful test spread, a new sense of purpose filled the hearts of people around the world. The aliens' seemingly invincible technology had a weakness, and humanity had found it. In their ships high above Earth, the alien leaders received reports of their downed vessels with disbelief and growing fear. How could these primitive humans have developed such a weapon? For the first time, doubt crept into their minds about the outcome of this invasion. Back in the Antarctic facility, Dr. Chen and her team were already working on improvements to their design. They knew the aliens would try to adapt, so they had to stay one step ahead. The war was far from over, but now, at last, the playing field was starting to level. As the sun rose on a new day, people around the world looked to the sky with a new emotion. Not fear, but determination. Earth had revealed its secret weapon, and the message to the aliens was clear. This planet would not fall without a fight. The day had finally come. After months of preparation, Earth was ready to launch its first major offensive against the alien invaders. Operation Thunderbolt, as it was called, would be humanity's most daring move yet. General Maria Rodriguez, a veteran of countless battles, stood in the Global Command Center, her eyes fixed on the massive screens before her. Representatives from every nation on Earth watched in tense silence as she gave the order. Commence Operation Thunderbolt. Across the planet, hidden magnetic pulse generators hummed to life. In orbit, Hastily retrofitted satellites aligned themselves. On the ground, guerrilla forces stood ready. This was an all-or-nothing gambit, using every resource Earth had left. The plan was audacious. They would use the magnetic pulse technology to create a massive global EMP targeting the main alien fleet in Earth's orbit. Simultaneously, ground forces would strike at alien bases worldwide. As the countdown reached 0, Dr. Chen, watching from her Antarctic base, whispered a prayer. With the push of a button, the biggest electromagnetic pulse in Earth's history was unleashed. The effect was immediate and spectacular. In orbit, alien ships began to falter. Their lights flickered and died as the pulse washed over them. Massive vessels, once seemingly invincible, now drifted helplessly in space. On the ground, the aliens were thrown into chaos. Their advanced weapons and communication devices went dark, leaving them vulnerable and confused. This was the moment Earth's forces had been waiting for. All around the world, resistance fighters sprang into action. In New York, a team led by former NYPD officer John Jong stormed an alien command post. In Lagos, Nigerian special forces, using weapons reverse-engineered from alien tech, launched a surprise attack on a major alien base. The skies above Earth became a graveyard of alien ships. Some managed to maintain enough power to attempt emergency landings, but many simply fell, burning up in the atmosphere or crashing into the oceans. But the aliens weren't going down without a fight. Those that survived the initial attack regrouped quickly. In Moscow, a desperate battle raged as alien ground forces, cut off from their main fleet, fought with unexpected ferocity. General Rodriguez watched the reports flood in, her face a mask of concentration. They were inflicting heavy damage, but at a cost. The fate of the world hung in the balance. In orbit, a new battle was unfolding. Earth's fledgling space force, cobbled together from pre-invasion satellites and captured alien craft, engaged the remaining alien ships. Captain Yuki Tanaka, leading the charge in a retrofitted alien fighter, dove into the fray, her hand steady on the controls as she outmaneuvered enemy craft. Back on the ground, the tide was turning. In the Amazon, indigenous warriors, their bodies painted for war, emerged from the jungle to overrun alien positions. In the mountains of Afghanistan, local fighters and international special forces cornered and captured an alien commander, a victory that would later prove crucial. As the battle raged on, Earth's long-dormant nuclear arsenals were brought online as a last resort. The decision to use them weighed heavily on world leaders, but they stood ready if needed. Hours turned into days. The world held its breath as the greatest battle in human history unfolded. Victories and setbacks came in equal measure. For every alien base destroyed, a human city suffered heavy damage. But slowly, inexorably, humanity clawed its way towards victory. On the 7th day of Operation Thunderbolt, the alien Supreme Commander, its strange, multi-limbed form a stark contrast to the human soldiers surrounding it, formally surrendered to General Rodriguez. The moment was broadcast around the world, and cheers erupted from every corner of the globe. But even as celebration broke out, the hard work was just beginning. The alien threat was neutralized, but Earth lay in ruins. Reconstruction would take years, perhaps decades, and there were still mysteries to solve. Why had the aliens come? Were there more out there? As the dust settled on humanity's greatest triumph, one thing was clear: Earth had earned its place among the stars. The galaxy would never again underestimate this small blue planet or the indomitable spirit of its people. General Rodriguez, her uniform dusty and torn, looked out over the cheering crowds. "We've won the war," she said quietly. "Now we must win the peace." The counterattack was over, but humanity's journey to the stars was just beginning. 6 months after the alien surrender, Earth was a planet transformed. The scars of war were still visible, but so too was the incredible progress humanity had made. Armed with reverse-engineered alien technology and a newfound unity, mankind was ready for its next great adventure, the stars. At the Kennedy Space Center, now expanded to 10 times its original size, final preparations were underway for humanity's first interstellar mission. The ship, christened Phoenix, was a marvel of human ingenuity and alien tech. It gleamed in the Florida sunlight, a symbol of hope and rebirth. Captain Aisha Kazmi, a former fighter pilot turned astronaut, stood before her crew. They were a diverse group, representing every continent on Earth. "Today," she said, her voice firm, "we carry the hopes and dreams of our entire species beyond our solar system." As the Phoenix lifted off, billions watched from screens around the world. The ship's alien-derived engines flared to life, and in moments, it was gone, vanishing into the depths of space at speeds once thought impossible. But the Phoenix was just the beginning. All across Earth, new ships were being built. Some were designed for exploration, others for colonization, and still others for defense. Humanity had learned the hard way that they were not alone in the universe, and they were determined never to be caught unprepared again. In orbit, the first sections of a massive space station were taking shape. This would be humanity's gateway to the stars, a jumping-off point for future missions, and a symbol of Earth's new status as a spacefaring civilization. On the ground, changes were just as dramatic. Cities were being rebuilt with advanced materials salvaged from alien wreckage. New forms of clean energy, derived from captured alien power sources, were rapidly replacing fossil fuels. The global economy was booming as new industries sprung up around space exploration and alien tech. Education systems worldwide were overhauled to prepare the next generation for life among the stars. Children who once dreamed of being doctors or teachers now aspired to be xenobiologists or interstellar diplomats. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The allure of alien technology created new tensions between nations. The UN Security Council, expanded to include representatives from every country, worked tirelessly to ensure that humanity's journey to the stars would be a collective one. Meanwhile, the Phoenix continued its journey. Weeks turned into months as it ventured further than any human-made object had ever gone. Captain Kazmi and her crew made discoveries that reshaped our understanding of the universe. They mapped new star systems, encountered strange phenomena, and gathered data that would keep Earth's scientists busy for decades. Then, 6 months into their mission, they made a discovery that would change everything. The Phoenix's sensors detected an artificial structure orbiting a distant star. It wasn't of the same design as their recent invaders. This was something new, something unknown. As news of the discovery reached Earth, the implications were clear. Humanity was not alone in the universe, and the aliens who had attacked them were not the only other intelligent life out there. The question now was friend or foe. The Phoenix crew debated their next move. Should they approach the structure, try to make contact, or return to Earth with their findings? In the end, Captain Kazmi made the decision. They would attempt communication. As the Phoenix approached the alien structure, they broadcast a message of peace in every format they could think of. For days, there was no response. The crew's tension grew with each passing hour. Then, just as they were about to give up, a reply came. It was a simple signal, but its meaning was clear, an invitation. As the Phoenix docked with the alien structure, humanity collectively held its breath. Captain Kazmi and her team stepped into the unknown, carrying with them the hopes and fears of their entire species. What they found inside would open up a new chapter in human history. The structure was a hub, a meeting place for various spacefaring races. And now, humanity had a seat at the table. As the Phoenix crew made first contact, people back on Earth realized that their victory against the invaders had been more than just a fight for survival. It had been humanity's initiation into a larger, more complex universe. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger world, ready to face whatever challenges and wonders the universe had in store. 5 years had passed since humanity's first contact with the galactic community. Earth had undergone a transformation that would have seemed impossible just a decade ago. The planet was now a hub of interstellar activity, with ships from a dozen alien races coming and going daily. At the heart of this new era stood the Galactic Council chamber, a massive structure floating in Earth orbit. Today, it was abuzz with activity. Representatives from across the galaxy had gathered for a historic occasion, Earth's formal application to join the Galactic Council. Ambassador Sarah Chen, once a humble historian, now stood as humanity's voice in the stars. She took a deep breath as she prepared to address the assembly. The chamber fell silent as she stepped forward. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, she began, her voice steady. I stand before you not just as a representative of Earth, but as a symbol of my species' resilience and potential. As Sarah spoke, screens around the chamber displayed Earth's journey. Images flashed by. The initial alien invasion, the devastating battles, the moment of victory, and the rapid progress that followed. In just 5 years, Sarah continued, we have gone from a planet fighting for survival to a civilization ready to contribute to the galactic community. We have much to offer, and much to learn. The alien representatives watched with a mix of awe and skepticism. Many had dismissed humans as primitive when they first learned of Earth. Now, they were forced to reassess. Sarah highlighted humanity's unique strengths, their adaptability, their creativity in the face of challenges, and their unity in diversity. She spoke of Earth's innovations in technology, their breakthroughs in combining alien tech with human ingenuity. As she concluded her speech, a murmur ran through the chamber. The Council had never seen a species progress so rapidly. Earth's application was unprecedented in galactic history. The Arch-Counselor, a being of shimmering energy, floated forward. We have heard your words, Ambassador Chen. Now we must deliberate. For 3 days, the Council debated. Some members argued that humans were too young, too unpredictable. Others saw potential in Earth's unique perspective. On the final day, the Council reconvened. The Arch-Counselor's voice echoed through the chamber. We have reached a decision. Back on Earth, billions held their breath. This moment would define humanity's future among the stars. In light of Earth's extraordinary journey and potential, the Arch-Counselor announced, we have decided to grant your world full membership in the Galactic Council. Cheers erupted across Earth. In the Council chamber, Sarah's eyes shimmered with tears of joy. But the Arch-Counselor wasn't finished. Furthermore, in recognition of humanity's unique abilities, we are creating a new position on the Council. Earth will lead a special task force dedicated to helping young civilizations navigate first contact and join the galactic community. The chamber erupted in shocked whispers. Never before had such an honor been given to a new member. As the news spread, Earth celebrated. But with this honor came great responsibility. Humanity would now play a crucial role in shaping the galaxy's future. In the years that followed, Earth continued to shock the galaxy. Human diplomats became known for their skill in resolving conflicts between alien races. Earth's scientists made breakthrough after breakthrough, combining technologies in ways no one had thought possible. Perhaps most surprisingly, Earth became a melting pot for the galaxy. Aliens from across the cosmos came to experience human culture, art, and cuisine. The planet's diversity, once seen as a weakness, became its greatest strength in the galactic community. As Earth marked its 10th year in the Galactic Council, the Arch-Counselor made a remarkable statement. The arrival of humanity has ushered in a new golden age for our galaxy. Their unique perspective has challenged us to grow, to reconsider old ideas, and to strive for a better future for all species. From a planet on the brink of conquest to a leading force in the galaxy, Earth's journey had been nothing short of miraculous. The species that had once been dismissed as primitive had become the catalyst for a galactic renaissance. As Ambassador Chen looked out at the Earth from the Council chamber, she smiled. Humanity had not just survived. They had thrived. And their greatest adventures among the stars were only just beginning.